Japan isn't perfect, okay? I said it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Take it back. What's the caption on this one? Grind till I can't. Never mind, bro. I tried. I'm sorry. I tried. That was cringe. Extreme apologizing. This man jumped up like a rabbit. Landed, smashed his head into the ground. Japan, the land of anime people and waifus. If heaven was a real life place on earth. Well, today we're gonna see a video about why Japan is not perfect. I'm Japanese. I feel like I'm very qualified to speak on the subject. I have never been to Japan in my life. So yeah, I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Japan isn't perfect, okay? I said it.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Take it back.
And yeah, I know they have all these good things going for them. I'm not denying that, but it's a bit suspicious, honestly, when everything I hear about Japan is positive. Well, today that's
no. There is a lot of negative things about Japan, bruh. Men be overworking themselves till they want to end their own lives in GTA. Whole lot of criminal acts against women. Oh yeah, no, trust.
To change, because my hating ass is gonna explain how Japan isn't quite perfect.
Okay, let's hear it.
We're talking natural disasters easily ruining your day. I mean, look at this guy. Relaxing drive ruined. We're talking gigantic parasitic cults that lead people to do insane shit, like assassinating the president. Oh, and I almost forgot the tourists, the goddamn Westerners, the weebs, the fans.
That's not really a problem with the Japan people, though. The Japan people? Let me stop talking, bro. What am I saying?
That plague Japan's streets and America's basements alike. I mean, people literally get online stardom from just being awful tourists in Japan.
True.
Yeah, these guys really put the pan in Japan.
Oh, nah.
Because I imagine the majority of locals want to just get a pan and knock them unconscious. Actually, in Japan, taking matters into your own hands might not be the worst move, honestly.
Why is that?
The Japanese police are so inept and ineffective. So many crimes go unsolved in Japan.
That's because there is no crimes that happen in Japan. It's the peaceful land where police are not needed.
Unless they see you jaywalking or littering. It's like the only two crimes they actually care about solving. Anything else is guaranteed ending up on a top 10 creepy unsolved Japanese police cases YouTube compilation.
So essentially, if you want to go out there and be the most heinous, devious individual you want, go to Japan. All right.
Thing I think is the root of a lot of Japan's current day problems is the work culture. You know, the Tokyo zombies.
This is what I was talking about.
Locked-in epidemic.
Yo, that's kind of a hard pick, though.
Culture. You know, the Tokyo.
What's the caption on this one? Grind till I can't. Never mind, bro. I tried. I'm sorry. I tried. That was cringe.
Tokyo zombies, the locked-in epidemic. Basically, this problem kind of stems from the aftermath of that big war they lost. The country was in absolute ruin after World War II. And the government, alongside all the emerging businesses, out of necessity, pummeled out this narrative, which really plays on the traditional emphasis of pride and honor in Japanese culture. So if you aren't dedicating 110% of your life to working and therefore rebuilding the economy, you're a traitor and a disgrace to your entire bloodline, and you essentially don't exist as a human. Whilst this did play a big role in rebuilding the economy, it also had such a massive impact on Japanese work culture and was able to spiral so far out of control that now your typical daily routine as a Tokyo businessman includes sitting in a cramped booth to endure 12 hours of frantic amphetamine-fueled work, then collapsing on the metro out of sheer exhaustion or alcoholic escapism. Waking up the next morning deep in some random suburb, slapping some cold water on your face and doing it all again. And
that sounds kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. Imagine a whole new adventure after working 12 hours. That is peak masculinity right there.
This is totally accepted and even kind of rewarded in Japan. For example, it's common when you see one of these passed out businessmen to leave cold water beside them in some kind of ceremonial circle so that when they wake up, they can freshen up and get back.
I can't imagine myself being in that situation, bro. You wake up with a bunch of water bottles around you like, did I just get sacrificed?
To crunching them damn numbers. I will admit though, this does pull on my heartstrings a little bit. I mean, if you pass out on the street in the UK, you're getting robbed, pissed on, teabagged. Best thing you're gonna wake up
it's the UK. UK, worst country in the world.
By is a bunch of pigeons.
I know, it's like 4 different countries combined to make the United Kingdom, blah, blah, blah.
But yeah, there's one thing I can't fault Japan for. It's the honest friendliness and hospitality in their culture.
What's the problem with this?
If someone gifted me a $400 tub of perfect strawberries, or a $500 bunch of the world's best grapes, or a $450
a square watermelon, that's a thing? That's fire, bro.
I would probably just evaporate with gratitude.
Oh yeah, I get it. Typical black person, whatever, bro. Yeah, bro, whatever.
I don't know if my physical form could handle such a generous gesture, you know? One thing that defines an especially annoying tourist in Japan is when people from the other side of the world travel there with no knowledge of the Japanese language whatsoever. Literally only 13% of Japan's population speaks English. So if Japan interests you and you think you might maybe visit one day, it would be best to start getting them basics down right now. That's where
Here's what I would say. Okay, if you want to speak English to people the most, obviously Tokyo is one of the biggest tourist attractions in the world, and a lot of people there do speak English.
Then using this online language learning platform, you can take personalized one-on-one lessons with native speaking teachers anytime, anywhere.
Is this an ad?
It's just you and the teacher. You will really focus on your speaking and listening.
Oh, brother, I got baited.
In such a way where people literally just operate as money-making computers. Completely devoted to their nation. I mean, I know ultra-capitalism is the foundation of current day Japan and produced a utopia and all that, but bro, you don't want a smoke break at least, blood? This robotic hard work sentiment over generations has spiraled so out of hand that now holidays and time off in general are like low-key taboos in Japan. Less than 18% of people take their annual paid leave off, which is insane. If you're Japanese, there's a higher chance you'll die of a stroke or a stress-related physical condition than in other Western countries. Plus, Japan literally invented its own form of heart failure, known as Takotsubo cardiomyopathy, I think.
Yo! Takotsubo? That sounds like an anime term. I want that.
Which is essentially a month-long heart attack caused by extreme stress.
Okay, I don't want that.
Usually cured by just chilling the fuck out. This is such a big problem that Japan is literally begging its citizens to go on
extreme apologizing. No, I'm not doing this, bro. I don't care. I have Japanese, whatever. If I go to Japan, I'm not doing this, bro.
Chilling the fuck out. This is such a
This man jumped up like a rabbit in front of a woman right here.
Big
landed, smashed his head into the ground, bent over.
Is literally begging its citizens to go on holiday more, because not only are workers dropping dead from stress, also their airlines are failing because no
what is bro doing?
But by far
she not gonna fuck you, bro.
This toxic work culture has created is what I like to call the -100 Riz pandemic, also more formally known as population collapse. Essentially, because so many Japanese citizens spend so much of their energetic youth completely locked in and not out there cheating, basically young people are starting to have really trash social skills. So they really don't be making babies like that. Each year the amount of marriages significantly falls, and it's even been reported that currently 70% of men in their 20s in Japan have no spouse.
Damn, maidenless. So maybe you do gotta do that to get some hoes, bro. Maybe you do gotta get on your knees like that.
Couples that do exist are kind of brainwashed to only think money, money, money. And I don't know if you know, but having a kid costs a lot of money. Therefore, straight up, no one is having any babies. And some companies are having an absolute blast exploiting loneliness in Japan. Whilst before they just made fortunes selling sake, now it's leveled up. I mean, it makes a lot of sense choosing an anime pillow or an online digital waifu over an actual human when you spend 12 hours a fucking day in a tiny office crunching numbers.
Yo, this is actually extremely sad.
After a night out. To add to this problem though, Japanese healthcare is kind of just too good, and Japanese people are kind of just too healthy due to their traditional diet, the cleanliness of cities, and simply their genes. But why on earth is that a problem? Well, it means lots of old people, and I mean fucking shit tons of old people. 1 in 10 people in Japan are 80 or over. Over 30% of Japanese people are 65 plus. Compare that 30% to the USA's 16% and China's 11%. You can see how insane and unprecedented that is. And unfortunately, as we know, old people die more than young people. So as less Japanese babies are born, but more Japanese old people die, the population is absolutely collapsing. It went down by 800,000 last year alone. Now, usually countries don't fare amazingly with big population declines like this, but it's especially bad for countries that are so reliant off massive, consistently growing domestic urban workforces, a bit like Japan has been for the last 80 years. Japan's whole business model completely falls apart with population falling and average age getting older.
That makes sense.
Because old people retire and don't generate money for the state. Actually, they do the opposite. Japan's social welfare spending is set to rise 60% by 2040. And to fund that, Japan's going to have less young, dedicated, taxable workers than before.
Right, that makes sense.
In 2010, there were 128 million Japanese people.
They need to have more babies, bro.
We could very possibly be looking at it dropping below 100 mil. See, the problem with relying on your country's individuals to act as money-generating components within some big fuck-off engine is that if those individuals stop multiplying like they used to and start dropping dead from stress, you end up with less components but the same big engine. And you can't run an engine with half the required amount of pistons or valves, can you? For example, property recession. Less people, same amount of houses. More supply, less demand. The market is crashing. That's just one of thousands of examples of how population decline is abysmal for Japan's economy and its fucking 92% urbanized population. Now, the Japanese government knows all this, and they're now desperately trying to backtrack and decrease the wide-scale urbanization they were so frantic to create half a century ago. They're offering millions of yen to young people in return for them moving out of Tokyo and starting more rural lives. They're launching advertising campaigns intended to get young people out drinking and improving their social skills. They're doubling spending on childcare and considering literally giving new parents cash payouts. And funniest of all, they're funding adverts on TV which essentially just promote banging. And I do think it's pretty hilarious that all those years of forcing notoriously cold, harsh, robotic, strictly profit-focused values down Japanese people's throats.
That's gonna lead to the demise of people, bro.
The government desperately running ad campaigns promoting partying, sex, and farms. Exactly what they were originally trying to discourage. Fucking awesome, man.
So in conclusion, Japan has destroyed their economy, right? And then that has led to people having to overwork, which has also led to people being homeless and not being able to get any women in their lives. Also with the fact that cost of living is extremely high and nobody wants to take care of kids because it's an extreme expense. So the population is going down and Japanese people are extremely healthy, so they're living long, and eventually the population is not going to replenish itself. So the conclusion is go to Japan and try to get some women and have some money, have some motion, and create new babies, and hopefully you spark up the Japanese population, bro. Those were some of the reasons why Japan isn't perfect, and I agree. Make sure you subscribe, like the video, join the Discord link in bio. It's Love Hello. I love you, and I'm out.